Morning students. Now we have met to each other before this also when we learn about a chapter that is trigonometry 2. In that chapter we have learned about various formulas just like factorization, defactorization, etc. Now today we are going to start a new chapter from paper 2, that is limit. Here limits. So what is mean by limits? In our day-to-day life, you oftenly hear about this word, that is be in limit or live in limit, be within a limit. Okay. Now, in mathematics, what is mean by a limit? So, we will see both the approaches, that is by using geometrical method and by using that is in mathematical form, that is mathematical method. So what is mean by a limit? So today, before to go to the definition of limit, first we will try to understand the concept of limit. So here, which terms, first let us see here which terms we will see in this chapter. The very first term is that meaning of a limit, and then definition of a limit, isn't it? Then calculation of various limits, that is it depends on the nature of the function. According to the criteria and nature of the function, we have to study its limit. Then limits of trigonometric functions. Then limits of exponential and logarithmic function. Then limit at infinity and limit, that is infinite limit. That is, in various cases we have to see how to take or how to derive the limit of the given function, isn't it? So here today our first, that is introduction of the chapter, is that here this limit. Now you know or don't know, I do not know, but there are different branches of mathematics. So here, out of these branches here, that is the very two basic branches you know, that is algebra and geometry. Up to 10th standard, you have seen two parts of mathematics, algebra and geometry. But there are different branches of mathematics. So this limit is considered or it is counted under the branch that is calculus. Here see. Now in limit or in this branch calculus, we will study different numerical problems, isn't it? Therefore this limit is taken under the branch that is calculus. Now here calculus is an important branch of mathematics. The concept of limit of a function is a fundamental concept of calculus. Why it is said to be fundamental? So I want to tell you that the importance of limit. If you understand limit, then in calculus the remaining things are here derivative and then integration, then differential integration. So many concepts are there, but to study limit here, first we have to understand this concept, that is continuity is also there. Continuity totally depends on limits. So if we study limit, if we know it very well, if we understand it thoroughly, then we can study or understand continuity of the function in very well manner. If we understand continuity, then we can study derivative. Okay, and if we understand derivative, then we can understand integration. So this is the chain: limit, continuity, derivative, integration, and then there are again more concepts are also there, but the concepts which are going to see all of you in 11th standard are integration, derivative, continuity and limit. So if you understand this one, limit, then by using limit, continuity of the function is defined. By using continuity, derivative is defined, and by using derivative, integration is defined. So this is the chain. So in this chain, our first and prior factor, the fundamental or basic factor is that limit. So it is the fundamental concept of calculus. So if you understand this one, then you get the easily about the remaining one. Okay, then you will have no any uh, trouble or any irritation or any hesitation about this one. So try to understand this one. So here let us see what is mean by first limit of a function. Here limit of a function means what? First we have to study about the limiting position. What is mean by it? So first we will see the meaning of tends to, which is very important. What is mean by tends to? See here, if we write in this way, then we say or we read it as x tends to a. What is its meaning? Its meaning is that x tending to a means x takes values near and near to a. For example, let us see here, let us consider a line here, let a means what? See any constant value 2, okay, and here 1 and here 3. So if we take here x and if x tends to a from 1 to 2 means what? To reach x to 2 from 1 it has to acquire the values in between 1 and 2. Okay. So here extend to a by taking these values and it reaches to nearer and nearer to 2. This tendency of x is called as x tends to a. So in this diagram you can see that there are both possibilities. Which both possibilities? The first possibility you can see here, x takes values from left to right, that is 2, from left to 2. And which is the another one? Yes, it is from right to left, that is right to 2. It is also possible that x takes values from 3 to 2, isn't it? So this 2 is means your a. Okay, a is in general value and 2 is a particular value. You can take another value and you can also verify yourself also. It is too easy. So here x takes values from 1 to 2, that is from left to 2, and from 3 to 2 means right to 2 or right to left. Okay, it is not difficult. Okay, you can verify on your own basis also. Here one example is given there. Here a is given, okay, and here short interval is taken. Which short interval? That is the nearest value of a, that is a minus 1. Now here you can see that is if a is 2, then 2 minus 1, 1, and 2 plus 1, 3. So here a and here a plus 1. So x takes values in this way from both the ends. Now what are the values are taken by x? For your example, If we divide this interval into 10 parts, then here the values of x are 1 by 10, 1 by 9, 1 by 8, 1 by 7, 1 by 6, isn't it? In this way. So here from this one, 1 plus 1 by 10, 1 plus, that is C here. 1 plus 1 by 10, 1 plus 1 by, see there, 9, 1 plus 1 by 8, or sorry, 1 plus 1 by 8. These are the values, and in these intervals you get that your like values 1 by 5, 1 by 4, 1 by 3, then 1 by 2, like these one, isn't it? So these are the values here we can choose in this way, and we get, as the denominator becomes small, small and small, then your value is reaches up to 2, isn't it? So like that, here x takes values. Here you can see the particular values are given there, a minus half, a minus 1 by 4, okay, a minus half, that is middlemost value, a minus half means what, 0.5, okay, and then again increasing in this way. Here we get a. Here both the way we have to consider it in both the ways. From, if we go in this from 2 to 1, then we have to subtract the values, and here a to a plus 1, then we have to add the values in this way, isn't it? So here, if x takes values nearer and nearer to a from both the sides, then we say that it takes values from left side as well as from right side, and we say that this tendency of x as x tends to a. But when we consider this tendency, that is x tends to a, then we have to consider this interval as a very small interval, that is, if a is considered there, then the value which is considered should be a very small value, isn't it? That is, if here a, then we have to consider here a minus 1 and here a plus 1, x tends to a and x tends to a plus 1, isn't it? Now here, if x tends to a from a minus 1, then the values are taken by x, the values are taken by x are obviously less than a. See, these values are less than a, okay. For example, let us have our original example, that is, here if we take 2, here we have 1 and here we have 3. The values in between 1 and 2 are obviously less than 2 here. And in the another interval, the values are taken by x are obviously greater than 2 here. The values are taken by x are greater than 2, okay. So here we can say that when x is greater than a, when x is greater than a and takes values near to a, okay, for example this one here, then, and here also example is proved, x takes values a plus 1 by 8, you can see there, here a plus half, a plus 1 by 4, okay. So here a plus 1 by 8, x is equal to a plus 1 by 4, x is equal to a plus half, etc. Then we say that, what we say? Here x tends to a plus. Okay, that is if x takes values from right to left, then we write x tends to a plus. And if x takes values less than a, okay, and it reaches near and near to a, I repeat it again, if x takes values less than a and it reaches near and near to a, then we write x tends to a minus. That is, if x takes values from left to right, then we say x tends to a minus. And from right to left, we write x tends to a plus. Okay, here this tendency of x is explained here in your book. You can see, you can follow it. So here x takes values smaller than a, x takes values smaller than 2, x takes values greater than 2. Here x takes values smaller than 2 and x takes values greater than 2, isn't it? So this, if x is greater than 2, then we write x tends to a plus, and if x is less than 2, then we write x tends to a minus. So here in place of a, here we will write x tends to 2 minus, and here we will write x tends to 2 plus. But see students, remember that here this tendency of tending to a of the variable is a particular thing or special thing or a very important thing, is that here x tends to a, x is tending to a, but x is not equal to a. X tends to a, x takes values near and near to a from both the ends, but x never takes a value equal to a. X is never equal to a. It take a very last value also there, but it is never equal to a. So this is the concept of tending to a. There is always a very small difference, positive difference between x and a. That is, if we take x minus a, it is greater than 0 always, but it is not equal to 0. It is not equal to 0. That's why we get the approximated values here, not exact value, due to this tendency of x. Now here you can see there's x is a variable, okay, and a is a constant. You get x is variable means what? X varies, x takes different values, and a is a fixed one, okay, that's why it is called as a constant. Here x takes values near or closer and closer to a but not equal to a, then we say that x tends to a, and this is symbolically written in this way, x tends to a. Okay, now here again we will see that what is mean by x takes values. Here look at this one, a is a constant. Take a small interval which is called as delta interval. Okay, in definition we will see what is mean by a delta interval. Before this one I want to repeat it again, that is, here in paper, same paper 2, there is a chapter sets, functions and relation. You may have learned that the types of interval, there are different types of interval. One is closed interval, the extreme values are included, that is, this is of this type. open interval, extreme values are excluded, that is this type of interval. Closed open interval, that is one extreme value is included and other extreme value is excluded. There is no equality sign. It means excluded means it is not included in that interval. It is not allowed that. That is do not take value equal to b never. And the other one open closed. That is the meaning of this interval is this one. Here the meaning of this interval is there, a less than x less than or equal to b. Now here what is mean by a delta neighborhood? So here if delta is a very small positive number, and if there is a number a, then the interval with a difference of delta is called as delta neighborhood of a. That is the neighboring values of a are of with difference delta. That is to the left side difference is minus delta, and to that is this distance is how much delta, that is same distance, and this interval is a minus delta to a plus delta. If x belongs to this interval, then we say that it belongs to delta neighborhood of a. So here we are going to this concept of delta neighborhood in the definition of limit, but before that I will tell you again what is mean by tends to. So here let us see a value that is a and a minus 1 to the left side and a plus 1, that is from a to a minus 1 we have 1, and again here also 1. The difference is the values are taken in this interval are here smaller than a. For example, one most understandable value is a minus half, that is a minus 0.5, okay, that is half in this way, and here also plus 0.5, that is a plus half. So in this interval the values are less than a, and in this interval the values are greater than a, and here x values closer and closer to a. But if the values are from left to right, then we write x tends to a minus, and the second criteria is that these values are less than a, and here x takes values greater than a, therefore here we write x tends to a plus for this interval. Okay, so here let us see the tendency of the x variable, but it never take a value x is equal to a. It only approaches from right to a, and from left to a, nearer and nearer to a, and there is always a very small difference between these two values, that is x and a. Now here we want to see what is mean by a limit. Okay, now what is mean by a limit? There is one example is also given in your book, that is the tendency of, for example, if there is a function f x is equal to x plus 3, okay, then here x and here f x, okay, and this x takes values here. If we take count the values from a minus 1, isn't it? So here x is equal to, if we take limit from 3, okay, so let us consider the values from 2 to 3. So it takes the values from 2 to 3, the very first value 2, then 2.1, then 2.3, then 2.4, like this one. And in this way, if we continue it, then 2.9, isn't it? And then the values of fx becomes 2, 2 plus 3, 5, then 2 plus 2.1 plus 3, that is, see here, if we take fx is equal to 2.1 plus 3, then 5.1, then here 5.2, else we can take there 5.2, then 3, 5.4, and so on, 5 point, last value 9. Okay, so here if we take the values of fx from this one, middle one, 3, 1, okay, then here x takes values from 2 to 3, like that one, and at the same time fx takes values from 5 to 6, but it does not take a value equal to, x does not take a value equal to 3, this one, and here at the same time fx does not take a value equal to 6, the last value is 5.9. And in another way, this is the concept we consider for left to right. Now if we consider the same concept for the same function from right to left, here if we considering the values for at x is equal to 3, okay, then here the value for the delta neighborhood is like in this one, difference between 1. So from 2 to 3, and now from 4 to 3. So if x is equal to 4, okay, then 4.1. Actually, we have to decrease these values of x. So 4 plus 2, and now we have to avoid these ones. So here, if we take 4, then 4 plus 3, 7. Let us see, you may think that it is very confusing, but this is not the case. If we take x is equal to 4, then fx is equal to 4 plus 3, that is 7. Then decrease by 1, that is 3.9. Then here 3.9 plus 3, that is 6.9, in this way. If we take 3.8, then what is this one? 6.8. Like these, if we go here 3.1, then we get 6.1. See, 5.9, 6.1. The difference between these two values, that is what? 0.1. These are the values, that is, these are the values near to 6 but not equal to 6, and from both the ways, from left to right and from right to left. Okay, so this is the table in which we can understand that x takes values nearer and nearer to a but not exactly equal to a. That is, here we take the last value 3.1, which is not equal to 3, and here the last value is 2.9 again, which is not equal to 3, and at the same time we get a value 5.9 which is not equal to 6, and here the last value 6.1 which is not equal to 6. So in this way, as x varies, fx varies, and we get the same thing which is happening for x and fx here. So this is the nature of the variable. X tends to a but not equal to a, and at the same time fx tends to f of a but not equal to f of a. Now you may think that what is mean by f of a and whatever that one. So let us see there the concept of limit means what. Here, if x tends to a and if x is a function of f, that is f is a function of fx, then fx tends to f of a. Remember that one. That is, in the example just we have seen x tends to 3, then fx tends to 6, but not exactly equal to 6. Okay, that is f of 6. F of x tends to f of 6, but f of 6, sorry, f of 3, but is equal to what? 6. Okay, don't get confused. When we will solve examples, then you will understand this one, which is very easy. Theoretical part is not so much interesting, according to you, but it is very interesting and easy also if we understand it. Now see, definition of a limit. What is mean by a limit? Now here, if fx is a very near to L, okay, and this is expressed by fx minus L less than epsilon, okay, for any epsilon greater than 0. Epsilon, it is one of the constant, okay. Here epsilon can be arbitrarily small to ensure that fx is very near. Means what? The difference between fx and L is very small, is very small, just like negligible, that is point not something. It is very small, but it is still there, and it is so small, it means that there is a very small difference between L, means L and fx are very close to each other or very near to each other. That is, for example, just we have seen, that is fx takes value 5.9. We want exact value 6, but it is not equal to 6, but it is near to 6. It may be of this form also, that is 5.9, which is again very near to 6. That is, the difference between these two values is what? 0.01, isn't it? So just like that one, and this epsilon indicates that there is a very small difference between these two values, or epsilon expresses that the values fx and L are very close to each other. Here fx is very near to L. If this condition is satisfied for all x near enough, then we can say that fx tends to L as x tends to a. The fact that x is near enough to a is expressed by 0, see again, same one. When we say that fx minus L is less than epsilon, that is, the difference between fx and L is very small, then at the same time we get, or we find that x minus a, it may be positive or negative, that's why this sign is put there, delta. Means what? X minus a is less than delta. Delta is again a very small positive number, that is, the difference between x and a is also very small, very negligible, that is, x and a are very close to each other, okay, where delta is greater than 0. Delta is positive, means what? Delta is greater than 0. This delta can be very small and depends upon fx and epsilon, isn't it? Hence, the definition of the limit is given by, if given epsilon greater than 0, there exists delta greater than 0 such that mod fx minus L less than epsilon for all mod x minus a less than delta, then we say that fx tends to L as x tends to a. That is, whenever x takes values near and near to a, then at the same time fx takes values near and near to L. And the difference between these one is very small, is very negligible. Difference between x and a is denoted by delta greater than 0, and difference between fx and a is denoted by epsilon greater than 0. So here finally limit is defined as, here as x tends to a, we say fx tends to L. In the form of limit, this can be written as limit x tends to a of fx, as x tends to a, fx is equal to L. This is the mathematical expression for limit, and which is very easy, which is very important. Okay, so limit, see again, x tends to a of fx is equal to L. So if you don't remember this one, if you do not understand this one, remember this one. This is the important part for your numerical problems. Whatever I explained to you, which is the basic one, okay, that is the limiting value of x is a, and this one is expressed mathematically in this way: x tends to a, fx is equal to L. Okay, so this is about the first part of the limit, and rather further parts we will see in the next lectures.